Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. We'll be talking about commercial real estate in Central and Eastern Europe. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special edition of the Coffee with Craig show. I'm here with Szymon Ostrowski, CEO of NEWPORT Logistics Fund, and we're here in the office. And Szymon, welcome to the Coffee with Craig show.
Hi, Craig. Nice having you here. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for the invitation. And what we want to do is talk a little bit about yourself, NEWPORT Logistics, and the future of NEWPORT Logistics Fund. So first of all, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and your kind of your career and how you ended up where you're at now?
Right here, right now. Yeah. So basically, my career, I would say it's three different areas.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, it was in Central Eastern Europe for most of the time.
Okay.
So basically, first part of my career was investment banking, corporate investment banking. I was working for Citibank. I was working in Poland. I was working in Prague. I was working in Budapest. I was working in London.
Okay.
Then I was working for Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, which is the biggest Chinese bank.
Sure.
I was setting up ICBC operations in Central Eastern Europe and running banks operations there. Then I was running a Chinese fund, private equity fund in Central Eastern Europe.
Okay.
I was responsible for fundraising. I was responsible for investment. We did a lot of photovoltaics. We did investments in real estate. And that was the part when I kind of started focusing more on real estate. I was working also in investment banking in Poland and Central Eastern Europe, doing mergers and acquisitions, doing bond issuance, stock issuance. And in November 2021, this opportunity, so NEWPORT Logistics Fund came, and I set up the fund with the aim of running it. This is a development fund. I'm sure you'll ask the question about the fund itself.
Sure.
But that's my career. So from corporate investment banking through private equity, and now private equity real estate.
Right. So you know the investors, you know the private banking, and then you know the fund and the banks.
Yeah, correct.
Great. So tell us a little bit about what is NEWPORT Logistics Fund? What have you done so far? Let's say year to date, or from the start to the date.
Yeah. So the history started, as I said, in November 2021. We started working on setting up the fund. NEWPORT Logistics Fund, it's a Luxembourg-based fund. We focused on development of warehousing and logistics in Europe.
Okay.
We only develop, so we buy land with permits.
Okay.
We build the warehouse. We lease it out, and once it's leased, of course, we do the bank financing in the meantime.
Sure.
And then we are selling it to the final investors, which are financial institutions.
Okay.
And this is the aim of the fund. The fund was registered in April last year. So I would say the timing was difficult because 1 month before the war has started, and we have started fundraising. So many people were saying, okay, that's not the perfect timing. However, I think that what we have proven today after 10 months, we have closed the fundraising. We have raised 50 million euro.
Okay.
We've got investors from Europe, from Poland, from Western Europe, from the UK, from Dubai, from the US. And basically, we have also invested all of the proceeds from investors into 3 projects. We've got the project in London, just outside Heathrow, close to M25. Great project, great location.
Great location, yeah. I mean, the logistics, so you can't go wrong there. Yeah.
And London, when you think about it, it's a great place. We've got the project in Amsterdam,
Right.
Almere district. Very good location. We bought 3.5 acres of land. We are building 25,000 square meters of a warehouse. And last but not least, we have a project in Łódź, central Poland. So very nice, I would say, diversification of assets, also geography, because that was the aim for us when we started the fundraising and we started the first investments. It was important for us, and in order to give to our investors ability to invest not only in Poland, but also to invest in the Western Europe, which obviously, if you think about geopolitics, etc., it's better to have diversification, not having everything in all the eggs in one basket.
Right. Well, I guess the Western European projects would be more logistics, e-commerce, and Poland is falling back more on the production. I mean, from companies leasing out your space, yeah?
Today in Poland, because this project is like 36,000 square meters, there are two phases. The first phase, we started building it in May last year, and basically the warehouse is already built and it's leased out to DPD, the logistics company. We have secured also bank financing for the second phase, and we are starting to build in second quarter, and basically this will be a multi-tenant, multi-use.
So for investors, how do they make money on this?
That's a very good question, Craig. So the investors, they are becoming investors in the fund. So they are limited partners. We invest, as I said, we buy land with permits. We build the warehouse. As you know, building a warehouse is very quick. Because it takes from 6 to 9 months. We secure financing, we secure tenants, and once the warehouse is built, fully leased out, we are selling it to the final investors. And once we sell it to the final investors, we are aiming that this process takes approximately 24 months from building to selling, so the investment period. And after selling it, we give back the investors the capital, we give them the preferred return, and we are basically aiming for the investors to earn at least 12.5% IRR in euro. That's the idea.
So great returns then.
I would say in today's world, these are returns which are very good compared to inflation, interest rates in Europe, because everything is done in euro. On the other hand, I think it is also important to say that warehouses are the best real estate assets class today, and for many years were, and I think also will be, having in mind where we are with nearshoring, where we are with the available space, etc. So I would say the risk to return ratio is very interesting and providing good return for the investors, which I think it's important to say, this is a new fund. This was our first fund, and in 10 months, we managed to get 50 million euro from investors and deployed the capital, which I think is I would say a success.
Okay, well, great. Yeah, congratulations, especially in these times. And good it's on, like you said, good it's on warehousing as opposed to other sectors. So tell us a little bit about the future. You got the first fund done, secured, money deployed. What's your next steps, next plans?
Of course, we don't forget about fund number one, because it's very important. So for us, the plan is the following. We are working on the fund one. We are working on those 3 projects that I mentioned, Amsterdam, London, Łódź. We want to give back the money to investors as soon as possible and with the amount as promised. So that's fund number one. Fund number two, we are currently working on fund number two. We are planning to register fund number two in April, beginning of April. And we are aiming to raise 100 million euro. We will be doing exactly the same. So we are aiming for building warehouses in Europe.
And UK, I can see.
And UK as well. So Europe, UK, definitely. That's the idea. We will be starting fundraising. We are looking for more institutional investors. In the first fund, it was mainly high net worth individuals. Of course, we will be looking on high net worth individuals in the second fund as well. However, we would like to move slightly up the ladder, in a sense, touching and discussing with family offices, independent wealth managers. So that's the idea and the plan.
Right. Well, very good. So 100 million instead of 50 million. So more projects, bigger projects, I imagine, as they going on. Yes.
More projects. Definitely, there will be more assets. I don't think there will be less assets compared to the first one. So we will be doing more assets, and which additionally is good because it will add additional layer of diversification. Maybe more countries, different countries, but definitely Europe is our turf.
Right. And what is the minimum investment to come into the fund?
In the first fund, the minimum investment was 250,000. However, the average ticket in the first fund we had, it was close to 1 million euro.
Okay.
For the second fund, I would say the minimum will be there. However, we are looking to increase it. That's why we are discussing with family offices, because then with the family offices, the discussion is we are talking about 2, 3, 5 million going up.
Okay, great. And MIPIM is coming up next week, so
It is.
I assume you'll be there and be an opportunity for investors to talk to you as well during MIPIM Fair, yeah?
Yes, we will be there. See you there, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going there as well. So yes, we are going there. Definitely, we already have booked ourselves for many meetings, many events. So definitely looking forward to go there because our investors are also there.
Sure.
And it's a very good place for us to show ourselves, especially as a newcomer to the market.
Well, great. So so really looking for investors, but also projects.
Correct.
I would imagine.
Correct.
Right? So both.
Exactly.
Both projects for the next fund, and the fund starting in April. So, Szymon, thank you very much for joining us today on the Coffee with Craig show, and we will see you at MIPIM. And any obviously investors or companies with projects can contact you anytime, but also see you at MIPIM.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Craig, for coming by. See you in MIPIM.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching the Coffee with Craig show today, and we will see you tomorrow morning for the news. Click here to subscribe to the Coffee with Craig show, and don't forget to share it with your friends.